Do you believe that you are ready to advance in your career? Do you truly think that you can take the next step in your career? Hi, my name is Mary Jervich, and I'm the founder of My Promotion Plan, a company that is dedicated to helping women go from passed over to promoted. Years ago, I struggled to advance in my career, and I struggled to believe in myself. And what I've learned through looking back at my journey from being stuck to thinking that I wasn't ready to advance, to advancing into the executive ranks and even being made a partner, that the very first step in our advancement is belief. Whether we believe we can or we believe we can't, we are right. That is a famous quote by Henry Ford. And the thing that I've understood is that our beliefs come before our actions. I actually have a 4-step process that I talk about in my upcoming book. It'll be launching here very shortly. It might already be launched by the time you're watching this video. It likely will be. It's available for pre-order now, but God's not done with you. And in the book, I talk about this 4-part system that I have here on one of these coins, but it's our 4 steps to creating greater belief. But the first part is to have a desire. So if you are desiring to advance in your career, then I want you to know that you are on your way. That is the very first thing. Once you have a desire, the next thing all you need to do is just commit to say, hey, I'm going to take this next step in my career. For me, this is what it looked like. I was having conversation after conversation with my husband, and my husband would tell me day after day how capable I was of leading in the executive ranks of my organization. And day after day, I would tell my husband all of the reasons that I was not capable, all of the reasons that I thought that I wasn't enough to lead. And looking back, it's really silly because I had the largest and most successful coaching load. I had managed large teams before in other industries, and I was successful. I was named Team Member of the Year. So there were things that I was doing that showed that, hey, I was successful. But what we have a tendency to do is when we look into our past, we have a tendency to focus on the things that say we're not capable, our small things in our lives, maybe the mistakes that we've made in the past, or possibly we're looking at the things that we say, hey, we're not 100% at this thing. So that means that I'm not capable of moving into the next role. But we look at these minute things, and those are the things, and this happens most often for women. We're the ones that do this. Men, if they're 60% ready, or if they meet one qualification for a next role, they move into that role. They put themselves out there for that role. But as women, we tend to wait till we are 100% ready, till we know with absolute certainty that we can do it 100%. And that's why there's a big gap. People that get promotions and raises in their careers are not the ones that are always the most qualified or the best for the roles. They're the ones that put themselves out there. And so, but this starts with our belief. So I wasn't believing in myself. I would have these conversations with my husband, not believing. Well, then one day I end up at this impromptu leadership meeting at work. And in this moment, I am inspired. And that's our first step to creating a new belief. And maybe right now you're going to be inspired to want something more for your career. But I was inspired to want more for my career. And in that moment, I said, I'm going to be the next COO of this company. And I said this to my now manager, who was the COO. Hey, I'm going to be the next COO. And they said, you should absolutely do this. Now, I wasn't kicking this person out, but I had mentally decided I had a little bit more belief than I had before I was telling my husband no, because this is a thing that happens. Whatever we believe, our thoughts, our words, and our actions are going to align with that belief. And so if you want to advance in your career, the first thing that you have to do is believe in yourself. Believe that you can. Believe that it's capable for you. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know how that it's going to happen, but you have to be open to it. And that starts with that belief. So once I was believing and I stood up and I said, hey, I'm going to be the next COO in this company. What I didn't know would happen is that position would open up just a few months later. But because I now have this belief and I committed to it, that's the second part in creating this new belief. I committed to it. I said, I'm going to be this thing. Well, now when this position opened up, Unlike in times past when positions were open previously, I used to put the ads out to hire people. But now that the position had opened up and I believed that I was capable, what I did is I went into my manager's office and I asked for that open position. Something that I hadn't done in the past, but that was the next step that I needed to take. Now, my boss told me, we're not sure that you're right for the position, and others aren't sure that you can lead. But I put myself out there. And what my manager said is, if you can prove that you can do the job, then we'll give you the pay and the title. But here's the thing. If I would have never believed that I was capable, I would have not walked into that office. And that's what I want you to understand. If you're not believing that you're capable of earning a promotion in your organization, if you're not believing that you're capable of more in your career, then you are not going to take the steps that are required in order to advance. You won't walk into your manager's office. You won't put yourself out there. You won't have those conversations. And so I want you to believe in yourself that you're capable, even if you don't have 100% of the requirements. And so one of the best things that we can do is we can look to the past and we can write down all of the amazing things that we've accomplished. Because what we tend to do in our heads, right, 80% of people, we will replay over and over and over again all of the reasons why we're not capable when we truly are capable. So look to your past. What amazing things had you done? I had the largest and most successful coaching load. I had led previously, but I wasn't focusing on those things. I was focusing on the negatives. So if you can start to focus on the positives, the next thing we can do is just allow ourselves to dream a little, allow ourselves not to have to know every step in the process. And we can set a goal and we can write it down. When we write our goals down, we're going to be 40% more likely to achieve these goals. So we can write down, I'm going to be the CEO. I'm going to be a chief operating officer. I'm going to be the chief marketing officer. And you can allow yourself to dream and put these things down. Right now, it might feel a little overwhelming, like, hey, how am I going to learn everything I need to get there? Do I have the skills? Is there an opening? There can be all of these things that we face in opposition, but those things don't matter as much as your belief in wanting to do the position, your belief in yourself to be able to do it. Once you flip that belief switch, everything else will start to line up, just like it did for me. Although my manager said, we're not sure you're right, I went to work doing that position. It wasn't going very well, but God spoke to me. He helped me. He said, Mary, make a plan. And through the promotion planning process, I was able to become a vice president of operations. Then a year later, the chief operating officer. Then a year later, made a partner and told I was on track to be CEO in 1 to 2 years. Where I was just a few short months ago, right, believing that it wasn't possible for me, just changing my belief changed everything. And I know if you will believe more for you in your career, that it can change everything for you too. And all of the details will work itself out. How you're going to take care of your family if you have one of your kids. All of that stuff will work itself out because there are things out there and ways that we can continue to advance. If you'd like to learn more about the promotion planning process that I talked about that I use to advance in my career, you can head on over to maryjervich.com to learn more about that. I'd love for you to subscribe to this video. That way you will get alerted whenever we have new videos coming out. But more than anything today, I want you to believe in yourself and just know you're only one plan away from your next promotion. I believe in you.